I'm at the Tathaastu Wellness Expo, and I'm talking to
Dr. Natalia Scott.
Okay, doctor, where are you from?
I am actually originally from Toronto and now live in Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Now, what are you doing in Michigan?
What I'm doing in Michigan now is running a global flower essence company.
Okay. Now, your flower essence company is very unique. From what I understand, is to energetically evolve people quicker than, say, other similar products.
Yes.
First of all, how did you get involved with this idea?
My own healing journey led me to innovate. I experienced a lot of trauma, and even people in the alternative world felt that there was only so much trauma that someone could come back from. And I believed that a person could recover from anything and everything. I just needed to figure out how, and that if I could unlock the key to healing for myself, then I certainly would share that with humanity. And flower essences have been an integral part of my own healing and professional work as a counselor since 1986, and I evolved through different flower essences and didn't plan on starting my own. When I moved to Michigan for love, my partner Jonathan had two beautiful historic properties, adjacent historic properties in a downtown urban setting. We now have four, and one of the women working in the garden that was there asked me if I knew how to make flower essences since I used them all the time, and I didn't. She taught me, and I had an extraordinary experience the first time I made Divine Flame from a 100-year-old lilac bush. And when I made the flower essence, it was a transcendent moment. You know, butterfly landed on the branch as the flower essence was being created, and I knew I was experiencing creation in a very significant and important way. So I decided to make flower essences for the community of people that I was serving in Michigan.
Okay, the people you're serving, you're a doctor of?
Spiritual counseling.
Okay. So you're using whatever techniques you used at the time then,
Yes.
but now you've found something better that would accelerate their spiritual growth and healing?
Yes, so the flower essences, and it's part of an integrated system for accelerated spiritual growth. There's spiritual or ascension activation processes that correspond with every flower essence. So there was a moment in my private practice, and I was very busy, and there was a moment where I heard, don't do anything that you've been trained to do, just sit. And in the sitting came this new body of work that was the basis of my doctrine.
Now these flower essences, why, obviously you're using certain types of flowers as opposed to others, because there are other flower essence companies, there are other essential oil companies that similar philosophies, but apparently this is to accelerate your spiritual growth.
That's a very good question to raise. Why do these accelerate spiritual growth? For example, other companies have a lily of the valley essence or a Shasta daisy essence. Okay, so this garden has been created for accelerated spiritual growth. It is filled. Has a unique microenvironment. People from the best nurseries in our area have come to the garden and talked to us about how different this is. Okay, so it has this unique microenvironment which includes sacred art and objects from around the world. All traditions, okay? This is a place of world spiritual unity. The garden is based in sacred numerology. Every walkway, the number of bricks in the walkway is based in numerology. There are structures. There's an ascension chamber and pyramid and things like that, again based in sacred numerology. Okay, so these are some examples of how and why the garden is so different. So the garden, we evolve the flowers to their highest potential so that they can hold these new patterns for higher consciousness.
So it's really raised on sacred grounds.
It is. And the land itself is an energy vortex. And so we've come to understand that. So it began as sacred ground. There's been a spiritual light center on the property for over 25 years.
Okay, walk me through some of your products here. Now these are what, tinctures?
So these are, excuse me, I'm going to ask you.
Go ahead.
Okay, so these are flower essences. There are 30 unique flower essences currently on the market, more to come. They can be bought individually like this, or they can be bought in sets. And the sets are created according to spiritual themes. when we launched in 2010 at the International New Age Trade Show, this set won Best New Product of the Year in the entire New Age industry because it works with unfolding our spiritual purpose, co-creating the perfected work of our soul in form. And that's something that's very close to many people now. Many people are looking for their higher work, and if they found their higher work, they're looking for the unfoldment of it to its highest level. They might be looking for the resources, people, money, time, etc. to bring it to its fruition. So this is an example of a set of flower essences that supports a particular theme. Okay. I just want to bring to light, there is a set to accelerate the spiritual growth of children, and it's interesting that it's won awards in more traditional venues, I think, which is significant. Apparently we are getting great reviews on how this is affecting children very deeply. And so I just bring this to mind because there are a lot of moms out there looking for natural support. Well, I'll tell you, we had a grandmother buy this for her grandson who was going to go on medication for hyperactivity, and she said to her daughter, I don't know what this will do, please, would you be willing to try this? And now this little boy asks for them every day, no more nightmares, he's calmed down, he's much happier, and they want to know if they can buy these in gallons. I didn't create them to deal with hyperactivity. As children mature spiritually and are balanced spiritually, then that's one of the effects that it had for this particular child. These essences are not for the physical, they're not for the emotional or the mental. They're purely metaphysical. Okay, they work purely on the spiritual level, the plane of causation, and then the effect trickles down to the other bodies. We believe when you work at the highest level, the level of causation, then healing happens much more quickly, and I see you understand that.
Yeah, just saying, how much is a box?
Right. And so the term accelerated spiritual growth didn't exist before this company. We have the trademark for it in the US and soon around the world. Okay, and so it's the unique mission of this company to accelerate spiritual growth, which we define as the development process, the spiritual development process whereby one achieves in one lifetime what would ordinarily take many. And I really believe that humanity is longing for a quickening of our evolution of consciousness. We've dealt with the same problems for a very long time, and we're very, very tired of that slow path. The other products are an Ascension Oracle deck, okay, and yes, you pull a card, take the corresponding flower essence, and there's a card that comes with this. No, I wanted to show the card that comes with
I see, different cards, yeah.
Yes.
So from that card, it corresponded to one of the
it's right here. So
flower essences, yes.
right, so you pull a card, and then you pick the corresponding flower essence. You take the essence, and then you read the information in the guidebook. And the guidebook is a spiritual text, and it provides very high vibration information on what the meaning of the card is and what you can do in your life to affect the accelerated spiritual growth and the spiritual healing you're being called to. So this tells you what you can contemplate or do. The essences provide the energetic activation. When you take one of these flower essences, you are ingesting a very high pattern of consciousness associated with ascension or God realization.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yes.
Say this bottle here, right?
Yes. How
much of it would you need? And how many drops would you need a day? And how long would that bottle last if you took it every day?
Okay, well, if you took one drop a day, I think it would last about a month, okay? 2 months, Mary Lee says, she's our mathematician. Okay, 1 drop a day, and you need to take at least a drop a day because it's a drop of higher consciousness every day. You can take more. This is enlightened patterns. So say that you wanted to shift from an addiction to eating food to suppress to feeling and expressing. Okay, your authentic emotional reality. Then if you were craving a donut, you would take the essence instead to assist you to go into the feelings coming up rather than enact the addiction.
So how soon, what are some of the amazing testimonials and how soon do you get results?
Okay.
depending on the case?
So, well, you've got, depending on the case, some people notice an immediate effect. In fact, one woman wrote us and said when the box of essences came, she immediately felt a shift in her because the vibration is so high. People who are more sensitive notice the effect more quickly, and so it varies on the individual. In terms of testimonials, a woman wrote us recently. Her daughter was having a baby, and that baby had a tumor in the brain, and they didn't feel the baby could be saved. And so this grandmother, to be, suggested to her daughter she take our flower angel wings, which is taken to activate our receptivity divine intervention, and that they don't know what happened, but 6 weeks later the baby was perfectly healthy. Did the flower essence have anything to do with it? Who can say? They believe that it did. That was the only thing that they did, was take the flower essence for support for this child's healing. So there are beautiful testimonials every day coming to us.
Great. And how much are these bottles?
So at this show over there it's $10, but regularly $12 and regularly
Okay, so very affordable.
They are. We created,
for a month's supply.
That's why we created them, so they were accessible to humanity. So everyone, regardless of their budget, could have some energetic support.
So how many different types do you have here?
30.
30.
Yes.
So would what you would have to finish one at a time?
No.
Or you can use a couple of them?
You can use multiples. When you buy one of these sets, this is the spiritual relationship solutions. Okay, you would take, theoretically you're buying this because you want to take your relationships to a higher level. So you would take one drop of each of these in the morning or evening, one at a time.
Let me ask you the $1,000,000 question. Do you have one for abundance?
Yes, and the essence is called generosity. I don't have my glasses on here, but right here. This is generosity. This is what the flower looks like.
Okay.
And let me tell you how it works. The major block to abundance is withholding. So whether we're withholding our money when we could be using it for a higher cause, or withholding our time or our talents because maybe we have low self-worth and we're holding back on sharing our art with the world or our healing skills with the world, or where we're withholding forgiveness or love. Anytime we're withholding anything, we block our own abundance grid. And so learning to extend ourselves in unconditional love is the task of generosity, and when we do that, abundance follows.
Great. Okay. More information, your website is?
It's www.lavidelarose.com. The Life of the Rose, La Vie de la Rose.